Hello everyone and welcome back to another Wano video and another top 5 video. As this time around though, we have a bit of a different concept. As usually we went over specific individual units. Today we're gonna go over full-on divisions in this top 5 video. And the most underrated divisions from my perspective in the game currently. And that means divisions that are quite good but not played. Like, we're not gonna talk about, oh yeah, the weakest divisions in the game, they are completely useless. It's more about division that are on the lower end in the eyes of the players, and that maybe deserve a bit more play and that have some reason there. And yeah, let's start with pick number 5. And let me know down below what you think are some underrated division, and leave a like if you're there already. So let's start with pick number 5. And number 5 in my eyes is Territorialkommando Süd, aka TKS. And that division had a really big time in the sunshine back in 2023 and early 2024 when we had an airborne meta, as it is a perfect anti-airborne deck, and its strengths are still there for the most part, but the reason it fell out of favor was that its air tap got nerfed quite a bit. F104s are weaker than they were back then, Mirages are weaker than they were back then, AA got buffed quite a lot. You don't get new endless numbers of airplanes, so you still get a good amount. But that's, I think, why it fell out of favor and why people stopped playing it. Plus, other divisions came around that do some of its things as good or, in the eyes of people, better. But it got a lot of buffs lately again. And I think those buffs really pulled it back and got it back into the action. And that is mainly the Reservist buff, but also some slight price buffs to its opener. Fallschirmjäger B1 plus Green Beret opener is still fantastic, followed up by the AMX-10RC that is also still there, Gazelle Cannons, and the forward deploy 20mm to stop enemy helicopters. This opener is still a really, really good one of the best in the game in my eyes. And the follow-up now is a lot better. And people really sleep on the M48s and the other reservist unit in this deck that is fantastic in my eyes, and that is the Heimatjäger. You get 2 cards of these, and they're 40-point 9-man unit with a Carl Gustav, a reservist unit with a really good AT weapon for 40 points that you can bring around. The military police unit now a bit more viable here as well with Feldjäger, as you can bring the Volkswagen T3 Feldjäger that also can help out the M48s if you want to get rid of reservists there. So these guys here are a lot better now, and I believe this deck really should see more play than it does currently. It is really low in pick rates, and you see it nearly never in ranked, and I think that's undeserved. The MX-10 following the Fallschirmjäger and the Green Berets are such a strong opener, and you still have great tools to hold the line. In tournaments, it's still a fantastic anti-helicopter, anti-airborne deck, as you are just a bit heavier than those airborne decks while having a similar opener. You can bring the MR10s, you can bring the 155mm howitzer to just outrate the enemy with artillery, and you have the air defense to deal with their planes with Ihawks and Rolands. So really, the main thing that this deck lacks are heavier tanks, but the M48s are so much better than they had been a couple of months ago, with the reservist change helping out big time. So I would say, guys, play more TKS, but that's with all these divisions here. So let's get to number 4, where I will say the same at the end as well. Division number 4 is 11th Parachutist, as this division got some love lately as well. The Paramarine Erix is one of the best infantry units in the game. The Erix is fantastic, and the base damage output that this unit has is great, next to the already fantastic Paramarines, which are some of the best infantry in the game already as well. You got some buff to its LGB, which is a good LGB too, with 30% ECM and bombs that actually kill stuff. For NATO, not standard. And so, yeah, these LGBs are really, really good too. And you get the buff to the tank tap, the Erix. Like, this was the main reason why this deck did fall out of favor. The Erix was just not cost efficient, and it's still not the best vehicle, but it is a good support vehicle again. being able to support you at max range, giving you help against infantry a bit, but also especially against APCs and IFVs. Two of these can go around and start helping out with killing those, and you can get behind the enemy lines and do some ambushes relatively cost efficiently once more. As I said, I don't think it's the best vehicle in the game, but it is solidly cost efficient again, and with a fantastic helicopter support, with the Celtics being absolutely insane AA helicopters, the Mistrals being the best manpads in the game, the VLRA being nice for openers with its 20mm so that enemy can't heli rush your opener, your own gun and ATGM helicopters being really cost efficient as well, and then just having this insane airborne opener with the infantry and the Erics especially. Like, this deck I think is back in business as a great rush division. Don't play it against TKS, as I said before. That is a great anti-airborne deck, but this deck does its job once more, and I think people should start picking it up again if they want to go into the light airborne playstyle. It's a bit overshadowed right now by the new French because they are a light vehicle division as well, and their light vehicle is better. But this deck here has the better air tap. I would say also has the better infantry tap still, though the amount of VAP there is nice in the other deck, and has a fantastic recon tap and so on as well. So 11th para, if you like light infantry, this is a deck you should check out again. It is back in business and highly underplayed currently in tournaments and rank pool. And now on spot number 3 is 7th Panzer, a division that got really little play last season in the league, and I haven't seen in a while in ranked either. And it's because there are so many other T72 divisions, and the division got nerfed quite a bit in the past, so people kind of forgotten about it, just remembered that it did got nerfed back then, and 9th was just better and stuff, but they didn't really realize the buffs that happened to this division that brought it back, and how cost efficient this deck is. First of all, its T72 didn't get nerfed, the cheap one that is. So this one is still 130. This one is still a really cost efficient T72 for the pushes. No smoke, just like the Polish one, and it has one less range and one less pen because of it. But on 1925 meter range, this is still a really, really cost efficient tank. You have the T55As, which are pretty good and cost efficient as well, and your T72 lines are fine as well, as they just do the basic job there. So your tank tap is still great. It's still a really good aggressive tank tap. Conqueror's helping out, dealing solid damage. You get Conquerors in decent numbers. And unlike 9th, which has the better, heavier tanks, you have a good opener. You have forward deployment recon that actually can take a fight with a sniper rifle and all. You have a decent rest of the recon tab as well. 2 cards of BRM are the key part here to really help your tank flop spotting the enemy and moving around. AA tab, fully functional as well. Coop, Shelka, Strela ones. I like these things for the cost efficiency. Helicopters, totally fine. You get some Cocon, you get some spammable Mi-24 DATs. Like, this is really good helicopter tab. And the air tab is back in business as well. MiG-21 BIS HE is really efficient again. And it was nerfed back in the day, got brought back now. The Su-22 cluster, the Su-22 AT, which you get 2 cards of. Like, these attack strike aircraft are really good. The MiG-23ML with a long-range missile and 4 short-range missiles is bringing good stuff for its price point and its availability as well. The R-24R is not phenomenal, but it has good range. And you get 3 per card here. So 1 card alone can kind of bring you through, and then you can put the rest into strike aircraft with the AA you get. Artillery is fine, nothing special there. And the infantry is good. You get some Watchitz and SVD, fantastic. Resolute still everywhere around. You get the good BMP SP2s with smoke and the Malyutka on your normal Mordschützen, and can bring around all the stuff you need. So I think this is a fantastic aggressive tank deck, and people play it way too little right now and have kind of forgotten about it. And especially if you only have the base game, guys, check out 7th Panzer. It's a fantastic T72 deck, and if you like T72s, this is the deck you should start with. It's still covering all the basics, and it's just that bit cheaper and more available than the other decks. So let's move on to spot number 2. And spot number 2 is 157th Motorstrelki Division. And this one, I always felt a bit weird upon, especially after the Mnet thing. Like, people were like talking about how cost efficient Mnet is. And I feel like this deck does exactly the same. The only thing that it doesn't do is forward deployment. And that's, I think, its big downfall in the eyes of the people playing the meta and so on, as you have to open up a bit differently. But this deck is cost efficient 3C through the roof. It has, first of all, a stats clone with the B4M to the big 203mm that you get in the Belgian deck. 2 availability here as well. Artillery Park is a quite nice one. The Barrack is quite solid. The BM24 is not so great, but does the job. And the 152mm is insanely cost efficient as well. So the other options being a bit underpowered currently doesn't really matter, because you don't need to endlessly spam artillery, and the ones you get are great. Barrack could be a bit better maybe, but it is pretty solid as it is. Your infantry, in the Reservisti especially, getting a 15-point armored vehicle that the enemy has to use AP somehow against, or it just will spot stuff for you, it will annoy the enemy infantry with fire. 12 availability on 1 vet, on 0 vet, 8 on 1 vet still, and Reservisti that have an MG and a good RPG. Like, this is not a great RPG, but it is a good RPG, good range, solid accuracy, solid penetration. All of that with the good military police units. Commandantura coming around with a potential good military police vehicle even. So all of this makes this deck really, really efficient in the infantry tab. You can get bigger 10-man squad with the Przeciwniki here as well. So you can lay down endless numbers of infantry. And yeah, all of this is quite nice. You can really bring out big numbers. The flamethrower buff helped out these guys a good bit as well. And then the tank tab, in my eyes, is really amazing. The T55 AM1, having 2 cards of these guys with the great ATGM is really, really strong. The T55As and T54s didn't get nerfed lately, so these still have really cost-efficient prices here. This one has smoke and 2000mm range, and costs less than a TO55 right now. So yes, it has Reservist, otherwise it would cost the same as a TO55, but it gets better range and smoke over it. So this is a fantastic little tank. The IS-2 is pretty fine as well. You lack a high penetration ATGMs, you only get Fagots. That's the weakness of the deck in rank play. So you have to deal there with the artillery. With helicopters, can't do it either. You only have Falanga there, which are not fast enough, but this is a pretty decent helicopter nonetheless. And then you have to deal with air with the AT Su-25 especially. Air, you have the best fighter in the game. T-10K3, absolutely amazing. Double shotgun long-range missiles, good price. Triple missile on short range, good gun, 30% ECM. All of this is great. A shotgun fighter that is good. Su-15s that are fine, cost efficient for their price. So all of that going well. You have the Krug to help out with the air. The anti-helicopter, a bit of a problem, though ZSU-23s and the 57mm can help out decently there, at least keeping them away. And the BTR-40A helping out both against enemy infantry and enemy helicopter in the forward deploy, so that your opener is a bit better, is quite nice as well. The recon tab is really the weakness. As I said, the opener is what is the big difference to Mnet. But I think in the cost efficiency afterwards, especially after Mnet nerfs, this deck is better now. And people just sleep on it. Like, I don't see it on the ladder, and I don't quite get why. I guess it's because people want to feel a bit more comfortable in the opener. But if you just take a bit of a more safe position and then follow it up with mass infantry, and you still get BMP1s, the super cost efficient 25 points ones here as well. So that's another insanely cost efficient point unit. So yeah, this is kind of insane. As I said, the anti-tank against heavies, I guess is the issue in the ladder, but in tournament play, this deck should show up in quite a couple of matchups, and we don't see it there nearly at all either. So I think this deck should get more play next season, and I'm looking forward to play it a bit more myself. I enjoyed it on the ladder as well, and I hope you guys will do as well. Let's get to spot number 1. And that spot number 1 maybe isn't a surprise if you follow the channel, but it is justified. Mnet is an insanely good division, and it saw 0 play last season in the league. And it doesn't make any sense. And it's not just me who thinks it's a good division. I've talked to other Strike Team members who have looked into it a bit deeper and have beaten higher ranked players with it as well. And especially Mix90 is playing a lot of it as well. He's ranked 1 on the ladder right now. And he went on a 100% win streak with Mnet. And this deck just has everything you need from an aggressive deck. So I don't get why people don't play it in tournaments. Like, not a first pick. Sure, it can be counter pick, but as a second pick, why not? And I also don't quite get why it still is relatively rare on the ladder, as I think this is a sleeper A-tier division here, especially on some maps and matchups. The LSV Milan and LSV M2HB, fastest unit in the game. It goes with 130 kmh, as it comes with 3-vet and special forces. 30% extra speed on the 100 kmh it already has, so great off-road speed as well. Like, still goes with 120 or so, or 170 kilometers off-road speed there. And then you have, on top of that, great Milan and a 50 cal that can rush the enemy openers. You have that followed up by a lot of special forces for deploy AA. Mistral's best man pad in the game. VADS can be helpful against infantry. Darkfire is the most accurate AA in the game. It is the best AA in any airborne deck. It is still not the best AA in the game. It's not a book because it doesn't have the range, but it is a fantastic AA to help out your somewhat weaker air tap. And I guess that's where people go for an airborne deck and are like, okay, this isn't great, and it is not great. It is functional. The shotgun fighters can be pretty good on the defense, and the strike aircraft, the cluster, and the HE ones are okay as well. Buccaneers not so much, but you can use them if you want to as well. The infantry tab is insane. Gurkhas are really good for 85 points. Then they got Mountaineer, making them even better. 3 light machine guns on this squad is kind of absurd. Law 80 there is great. The Unimog for the power commandos got cheaper, which is a fantastic opening unit as well. The scimitars got availability buff and stealth buff for the tank tab ones. The Weasels here with good stealth, really great ATGM vehicle as well. Good stealth on the Weasel toe, making ambushes really great with this. If you can kill off the enemies recon units with your autocannons, for example, then the tanks just don't see the toes anymore and just get killed off by toe 2s, and you get a good number of those. Like, the amount of ATGMs that you can fit in this deck is pretty insane. Pathfinders, special forces, recon in the opener that can deal with any infantry. Like, there are so many reasons for this deck to be played. Even the artillery is kind of okay, as the British 105mm for some reason is just way better than any others. Great range and still a cheap price, so this one actually is a kind of okay 105mm for its price point. And as I said, like, you want to go in there, you want to rush the ground, you can bring amazing infantry, amazing ATGM walls. The amount of autocannons is bizarre that you can get for each tick, because you don't have to buy them with infantry on the scimitar and the Weasels, and you don't pay the extra price for recon ones. So the amount of stuff you get there is really, really great as well. And yeah, air and helicopter tabs are not the most amazing, and that's a bit weird for an airborne deck, but it is a fantastic infantry tab. It has all the ATGMs, and it is just so cost efficient, and people should just play it more. Like, as I said, especially in tournament as a counter pick, but also in ranked, I don't think there's a map where they are completely terrible. Like, even Vertigo or so, I feel like they're playable just because of how extra speedy they are in the opener, and that you can rush the enemy side there against a lot of decks, and you just get them around and give them a swing if you like light infantry units. And this just is also a great, cool concept of the mix of the four nations. Sure, the German part could be a bit stronger. Fallschirmjäger still suck, but you have the Paras instead, which are just phenomenal infantry as well. So, yep. What do you guys say? Let me know down below. Do you agree with the Mnet pick? What would you have picked as number one? And see you all in the next one.